Where's the rage? Woo, here we are. Today I thought we'd talk about the Israeli-Palestinian thing that's happening. It's disappointing on both sides. My views, I'm not Jewish, I'm not Palestinian. I don't really know Palestinian culture. I know more Jewish culture. Grew up in New York City. Lots of Jewish Americans around me. Always, they came through for me, very difficult parts of my lives. They were there to help. So, but in the sense of emotions, I don't. I know CNN is pro-Israel. I know Al Jazeera is pro-Palestinian. I know Fox News is Israel. Like watching Israeli TV. So, the way I see it is it's carpet bombing. That's what the Israelis are doing. Let's look at what the Israelis are doing. They're carpet bombing, piece by piece. I think the last time we carpet bombed was Vietnam. We gave Vietnam all the TNT of World War II. And we told them, similar to what the Israelis are telling Hamas, if you don't follow Hamas, the bombing stops. We told the Vietnamese in the north, if you don't follow Ho Chi Minh, you don't die. What did they do? They went underground and they built tunnels. And they were kind of under siege. Very similar like Hamas in many ways. At the end, we couldn't kill them all. We came home. They swallowed South Vietnam. The lucky ones got away. The unlucky ones either were boat people or they had to survive. They were swallowed up. So that's the last time we carpet bombed. This thing of punishing everybody collectively for what a political wing does inside, Israel has assured that for the next 1,000 years these people will hate them. You can't tell a 9-year-old who sees his whole family dead in front of him and he's, bleeding himself, that Hamas did this while they're taking shrapnel that says made in Israel or bullets made in the USA. Israelis have to understand that the Palestinians will not subjugate, just like the Vietnamese did not subjugate. They're not going to sing and dance like you want them to do. They're not going to do what you want them to do. They will die, then be occupied or subjugated. It's that simple. I mean, it surprised me from the Israelis, knowing through their history all the subjugation, persecution, extermination, oppression, and prejudice, even in this country today, that they can't understand the Palestinians, their brothers, Father Abraham. So it really breaks my heart. You see, I look at the world, or I try to look at the world from a fair point of view. If it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, well, I think there's 56 Israelis dead on this side, mostly soldiers. There should be 56 dead on the other side. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, in a perfect world. When the Turks and some other people were trying to bring in supplies, the Israelis stopped those ships, confronted those ships, boarded those ships. Some people were killed in those ships. Those ships were bringing basically humanitarian needs. Some people say they were carrying weapons too. In a perfect world, me, I go meet them, I stop them, I talk with the guys in charge of this project. I say, I'll escort your ships into Gaza. I will supervise what comes off this ship and tell you what goes and what does not go. If they're weapons, they're not going to get them. But if there's powdered milk, if there's dates, if there's butter, whatever, cooking oil, flour, just let it go. You have a siege on these people for years now. They've become desperate. Are you shocked that they come out and kill 3 of your boys? The radicals in there? Are you shocked that the radicals on your side, because they're radicals on the Israeli side, take a poor boy and burn him alive? let's not forget it was Israeli radicals who killed Rabin. And it was Netanyahu who created that whole poisonous environment with Sharon, which brought a radical to think that one of the great war heroes, Rabin, like Moshe Dayan before him, was now so sort of a collaborator with the Palestinians. So some kid came and shot him like a common thug in the street. Broke my heart. Broke my heart. So this keeps going. This will never stop. Israel knows the neighborhood is different. Syria is in a civil war. Iraq is in a civil war. We gave the Iranians Iraq to become the power they are now. That was Bush's mistake. Not that they saw it. I saw it, believe it or not. I said, are you crazy? It's going to be just a satellite of Iran because they're Shiites too. The Saudis are struggling within. Jordan is struggling within. Egypt just got over like a mini little civil war. Libya is a failed state. Tunisia is trying to make something out of something. It is like crazy there. And now they start this. It puts in danger all the Jews living all around the world. It's Americans, and we travel, and when I've traveled quite a bit, you got to look after your back. You got to be careful. I've met Americans who actually sew Canadian flags in their backpacks because they don't want to be kidnapped or have to hear someone just rant, especially if you didn't vote for the president who's doing whatever he's doing. So, this is not cool. Now, on the Hamas side, I understand that Gaza's been choked for the longest. Because, we say, let's have a democracy. They vote for Hamas. Hamas and Fatah have a little civil war. They go to the West Bank. Hamas stays with Gaza and is radical, has radical views. And so what do? They shoot rockets. The Israelis feel threatened by it, and Israelis die because of these rockets. But there has to be a proportion. Some people say there doesn't. But the world, if you see how the embassies and places around the world are now protesting against Israel. I think Bolivia just called it a terrorist state, so now they're going to need a visa to go to Bolivia. I don't think, the beaches of Bolivia are that great. But it's a problem. So if rockets come to me, I'm the big boy on the block. I got the biggest army. I got an atom bomb in my pocket. And you throw all these rockets my way, and my Iron Dome, which was given by my friends, is shooting all the rockets down, and no one's getting hurt. Why should I attack? I should show restraint. If a rocket hits and kills a couple of my people, then I'll send a drone and kill one of their leadership. If I feel I need that eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. But this thing that, because I see a flash where rockets came out in the middle of a neighborhood, and then I go ahead and call and say, everybody get out. I'm going to drop a 500-pound bomb. It's not working. And slowly the sympathy for Israel erodes, because I saw a donkey dying in the street. It broke my heart. This poor donkey laying there, just trying to... I love animals. Broke my heart. So, at some point, I think right now, the Israeli public, those images aren't doing anything to them. They want Netanyahu to do whatever he wants, to stop this, to cut it, end it. It's not going to end. Maybe for a year. And the things that will happen after that, man, I don't want to even look at the news. So, maybe it's too late now. Maybe we've opened the box of Pandora and all the evil is coming out. But, the stranglehold on those people has to end. You have to end the desperation in there. Because this is starting to look like a massacre now on TV. It's a massacre. It's just women and children lined up dead. And it breaks your heart to see that. And so, there was a time when the organizations, the Palestinians, the PLO, they were more socialist and communist inclined. A lot of them were studying in places like Russia and East Germany. And yeah, they did a lot of radical things. The killing of the athletes in sort of the suicide mission. Most all of them died. Of the Israeli athletes in Germany in '72. Today they've radicalized more than ever. There is no socialist or communist or any sort of Western ideology. The Israelis have allowed them to, through generations, radicalize even more. Now they're religious fanatics. Now, you know, I can talk to a communist, I can talk to a socialist. I don't think I can talk to a religious fanatic. We have that problem here in the States. And, you know, they just live in another planet. You know, suicide bombers. You know, the more Israel has waited, the worse it's gotten. And I don't see, and now with this bombing, these children have been radicalized because they've seen the bodies. So, I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you. In 1972, my class, my parents had decided in my teens to move to Puerto Rico. They wanted to start a new life there and leave New York, and so I had to go along. And it was nice to be in a tropical island, etc., etc. At that time, we had a lot of Palestinian Syrians who had on the island lots of clothing stores. They sold really good stuff at a really good price, and so the stores were always full. They're doing business. My dad had a restaurant, and they would come and eat, and they were very pleasant, very lovely people. I liked them very much. They were very sweet and kind. In 1972, my school decided to do a class trip. Well, not my school. Someone in my school, one of my teachers, organized a local trip to go to Palestine or Israel. To, you know, Christians to go walk where Jesus walked, etc., etc. So a lot of kids in my school, teachers in my school went, and other people in the local area. To make the story short, they made it all the way from Puerto Rico to Tel Aviv to die at the airport at the hands of 3 Japanese Red Army faction who were pulling a job for the PLO. And one of my teachers was blown in half. Another teacher got a bullet in her belly with a baby in it. Some didn't come back. It was a massacre. Puerto Rico, the reaction was, as those coffins came sealed, those Arabs or Palestinians that were living among us, their stores were burned. It was the Japanese consulate had to leave because it was too dangerous. I mean, the skies were burning that night. The innocent always get the brunt of it. Those people had nothing to do with what happened in that airport. To my friends and acquaintances, nothing. And yet, it's a complex issue that affects everybody. Some people are hoping it gets worse because somehow the second coming is coming that way, and if Israel and the Russians and whatever. That's Where's the Rage today. And remember, we're linked now with First Coast TV. They're under construction, of course. They're not fully operational, but they will be soon. And also the YouTube channel, Where's the Rage? You know, you can send your email if you got something to say, what I got to say, at whereistherage@firstcoast.tv. Okay, that's it. I'll see you next time. And I believe next time we'll be talking about the Ukraine Flight 17. What's going on with that? The Ruskis. Говорю по-русски, меня зовут George. So I will see you all soon. Thank you again for listening.